Desmond's was a Los Angeles-based department store chain that opened in 1862 and closed in 2005. The chain was founded in 1862 as a hat shop by Daniel Desmond near the Los Angeles Plaza. Desmond immigrated from Ireland to the United States in 1851 at the age of 18, settling at Lawrence, Massachusetts. He would get his start in hat making. In 1862, Daniel Desmond decided to move to California via ship and start his business there. At the time of his arrival, Los Angeles had a population of less than 4,500 people. The country was in its second year into the Civil War, and Desmond decided to open a hat store in the plaza on Olvera Street in Los Angeles. It was just a few square feet, and he was the only employee. Popular styles included the tall, sumptuous toppers worn by dandies and the wide-brimmed, flat-crowned Fiesta hats popular with California gentlemen. Desmond was a member of the Volunteer Fire Brigade as well. In 1870, Desmond and other leading retailers moved to the Temple Block in Los Angeles on Main Street. In 1882, Desmond moved into the number 4 North Spring Street, leading other retailers in moving to a new central business district around 1st and Spring Streets, which was, according to the Los Angeles Times in 1937, the rendezvous for socialites from San Francisco to Baja California. Desmond's opened in the new Nadu block there. In 1890, around the time that Los Angeles started horse-drawn streetcar service, Desmond moved his store to its 4th location in the Bryson Block, 141 South Spring Street at the northwest corner of 2nd Street, which only 10 years earlier had been considered the country. In 1900, Desmond's moved to its 5th location at 3rd and Spring Street in the Ramona Block, home to the Hotel Ramona. Desmond retired due to failing health a few years before his death in 1903. His son, Cornelius C. Desmond, would take over management of the Desmond store. In 1906, the company moved again across the street to the Douglas Building at 301 South Spring Street, its 6th home, and as one of the largest retailers in the Los Angeles area at that time. Around this time, Desmond's became a store of reference across Southern California, well known for a broad range of high-quality men's attire. In 1915, Desmond's moved to its 7th location, a new 2-story building on 553 South Spring Street, and added women's and boys' shops. The building was demolished in 1924 to make room for the Pacific Southwest Trust and Savings Bank. Daniel Desmond's son, Cornelius, passed away in 1920, and the company was placed in a trust managed by William E. Hampton. Ralph Huseman purchased the store from the Desmond family heirs in 1921. Desmond's opened its final flagship store in 1924 at 616 South Broadway in what was then the department store district of downtown Los Angeles. Designed by the firm of Albert C. Martin Sr., the 85,000 square foot 6-story building had been described as a Beaux Arts in Spanish. It lay on a street lined at the time with many other department stores such as the Broadway, May Company, the 5th Street Store, Silverwoods, Bullock's, N.B. Blackstone, and Eastern Columbia. The building's facade was redesigned in 1933 and is decorated in elaborately cast terracotta with twisted columns, balconies, and an ornamental pediment on top, making it one of the most striking buildings on Broadway. In 2020, the Desmond's building became a Los Angeles Cultural Historic Monument. In 1926, Huseman's nephew, Fred B. Huseman, joined Desmond's shop. Fred succeeded his uncle as president in 1944, a position he held until becoming chairman in 1973. Desmond's would add branch stores starting in 1927 with 7th and Hope, and would also operate a branch in the Spring Arcade at 543 Spring Street, next door to the Pacific Southwest Trust and Savings Bank on Spring Street, which occupied the site of its former sole store. In the early 1960s, Cruet, Peabody and Company of New York acquired Desmond's. By that time, Desmond's had become a major Southern California department store chain with 19 stores across greater Los Angeles at its peak. The 616 Broadway store was closed in 1972. In 1977, a joint venture between Bond Clothing Stores and Harold Kapelowitz bought the chain, and Kapelowitz took over management of Desmond's. At the time, the Desmond's chain had 17 department stores. From 1977 until 1982, Desmond's would go on and close all but 4 stores in California, as buying habits changed and downtown department stores lost their allure. In 1986, the Desmond stores closed at the Northridge Fashion Center as well as the West Covina Plaza. The last location was the Palm Springs La Plaza. Palm Springs Plaza, as it was then called, now La Plaza, opened in November 1st, 1936, and was one of the first shopping centers in Southern California with a single developer, owner, and uniform appearance. It also contained a parking garage on 3 levels with parking for 141 cars, the largest garage in Riverside County. Kapelowitz sold the Palm Springs La Plaza store to Frank Gross and Stanley McNeish, and it continued under the Desmond name until 2005. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.